Top Med Talk.
I'm Desiree Chappell for Top Med Talk at the Intensive Care Society State-of-the-Art meeting of 2018 here at the QE2 Center, right across from Westminster Abbey. Yeah. And we have an amazing view over here. I'm with Editor-in-Chief of Top Med Talk, Monty Mythen. Hello, Monty.
As always, it's great to be here.
Yeah, what do you think about this view?
It's great. We went for a little walk, didn't we?
We did. It was gorgeous.
You've been looking at the people walking in and out of there all day.
I have.
So we went over at 3:32, and for those of you who don't know what time Westminster Abbey closes midweek, it is
3:30. They're pretty serious about those gates closing too.
They didn't. Oh, come on! I'm an American. Yes, ma'am.
Come back tomorrow.
Can I walk in here? This is the exit, ma'am.
I did try it all.
But you could have gone back in for matins, couldn't you?
I did. I could have, and we heard them ringing the bell for that, but we decided to come back here to State of the Art and talk to some of the people that have been around. So we actually have a guest with us.
We do.
Hello.
Marcus, how are you? Tell us about yourself, Marcus.
Good. So my name's Marcus Peck. I'm an intensivist at Frimley Park, and I'm also the FICE chair. Focused Intensive Care Echo Committee. So we set up some echo training for the UK, and I came here to talk about that and promote it and teach. We've been upstairs teaching all day today in the ultrasound zone.
Yeah, how long has that been going on for now? Because I remember it all starting off the sort of training course.
Yeah. We've been operating since August 2012, so that's 6.5 years.
So do you sorry to dive and ask this for a second.
No, please do.
Do you think, because I'm not very good at echo, okay, getting a bit old as an intensivist. Now, I've done lots of
never too old.
Transesophageal echo.
I love you, Marcus.
Lots of transesophageal echo in the past. Do you think I've got to learn how to do it properly? I'm not a proper intensivist anymore.
Transesophageal, you say?
Yeah, in the past. I mean, transthoracic. Do you think I really ought to sort of just get on and do a course and learn how to do it?
It's so straightforward.
I know it's straightforward.
Honestly,
it's just
I'd love to teach you. You taught me. I can teach you. It'd be amazing.
But do you think we should? We've all got to do it now, basically. In the same way as cardiothoracic anaesthetist, it got to a point whereby if you couldn't do echo, it was time to move on.
Yeah.
Do you think we should all learn how to do it?
I really do believe that critical care patients deserve it when they need it at the point of care, and I think the only real way for us to be able to do that is to teach it ourselves as a core skill.
Great stuff.
Yeah,
I love it. I listened to your lecture yesterday.
Did you?
I did.
Oh, that's so kind of you to come. Yeah.
I loved
it was a great session.
Yeah, I loved it. I just loved talking about, you were talking about collaboration and things like that, but just the focusing on the echo piece and really utilizing that in practice. Absolutely. It's not just something that we reserve for special instances, when people first come in as a diagnostic tool, if they're an outpatient, but utilizing it in the intensive.
I think we're good at spotting when things are bad, but we don't always know exactly why they're bad. And I think, it just gives us a really great insight into what's happening. And we've got a lot of work to do on research and outcome benefit and all that kind of stuff, and that's happening. But for those of us that use it, and we see the real big wins, and I just want to know. I'd love to see the whole community being able to access this wherever you are and whenever you are.
Because the kit's available everywhere now.
Yes.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. What is the availability of it?
I think it's in every unit, right? We use it. I mean, at least a machine to get a vascular access. That's a minimum. Yeah, everybody has that, and a probe. They're only £4,000 or £5,000.
Careful with the only word in the National Health Service.
They're getting cheaper, actually. Yeah,
they are.
Some amazingly cheap handheld stuff coming out soon.
And we've done a number of interviews about point of care ultrasound, but more tilted towards the cardiothoracic end of things. So, do you point your probe? Excuse me, ask me. Do you point your probe everywhere?
Really?
Personal question.
Do you have any bound? Is there any way you haven't looked yet? It's a serious question. I mean, do you know? Do you start looking at the eyeballs?
I'm going to be honest.
The throat.
I look at everywhere I can as much as possible because I can think of cases where patients have literally died because I didn't know how to do a certain type of ultrasound, and I look back on those cases and think, gosh, if only I'd just known whether there was free fluid in the abdomen, and might have done things differently. And it's everybody's game, and there's so many targets in the body for ultrasound. We were just up at the simulation today, and Justin Bailey was running some simulation. He did everything above the diaphragm, below the diaphragm. You mentioned eyeballs. He was looking at looking for raised ICP. Honestly, these targets are all there.
That was not a bad joke. That was an informed question. And trachea, you look.
Yeah, you can look at tracheal and esophageal intubation.
Do you always look before you do a perk tracking?
Yes, I do. I really do. And, it's reassuring to know if you've got a difficult airway that you know where to find the cricothyroid membrane, for instance, in advance. And particularly when I'm doing trachees, looking for big vessels, they're the things that worry me, So,
Probably a good idea.
So we've had a recurring theme in the chats has been, we pulled away from more advanced hemodynamic monitoring in many places. Yet we do a lot more echoes. Either someone comes up with the echo or you request an echo examination by someone to come along and look at the heart. As soon as the probe goes away again, we sort of leave a void. Now, before, we had sort of lots of monitoring and we didn't have the echo.
Yeah.
Now we've got the echo, we've abandoned the monitoring. Should we put them back together again?
Oh, it's interesting you talk about that, because I think there are existing technology that's not available in the UK but over in the States, which are miniature transesophageal echo probes that last for 72 hours. And I just think if we could get that technology, combine it what we have with pulse contour analysis, suddenly you've got some really exciting stuff, because you have the diagnosis, you have the flow measurements. Albeit this machine doesn't have Doppler to measure flow itself, but if you allow the surrogates, you suddenly got a really powerful monitor.
Because it seemed like sort of one of the dream tickets would be to do the transthoracic echo, move up a gear to transesophageal echo, as you say, if you have it there. Then use that to sort of do a calibration set point of some form with right and left heart. And then say, look, we've got to go away with the machine for a while. But while we're away, this is how you understand what those numbers are looking like. So this number's going up, that one's going down. This is what the heart's probably doing.
So I've heard people recently talking about calibrating their lidco using transthoracic echo, and the nurses love it because it saves them a whole load of work. And
we're like the BBC, there aren't other monitoring devices available.
We do have to say that.
So using their pulse contour analysis device, like the one available from Lidco, fantastic British company. That's the common recurring theme. Is why don't we do more calibration? Now we know it's not a true calibration, but when get everyone to look at the screen and then get to look at the right-sided or left-sided monitor and say, here's where we are, here's the direction of travel we want to go.
We've been looking at the interface or the gap between the basic level echo and the advanced level echo accreditation systems, and there is a bit in the middle that I wish we could sort of include a little bit. And for some of those hemodynamic stuff, the things that the PA catheter used to be able to help measure, we use that information, we use it a lot. It'd be great if we could have a valid way of having that. And I can think of some flow-related measurements I'd love to have, and it's just, I think what we need to do now is, rather than debating an intermediate system, we just need to make sure we've got a really good quality assurance and governance process around all of us, wrapped up so that we can practice safely, do it properly, and develop and be safe.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what about the nurse at the bedside? Surely that ultimately they would be better than the transient doc coming through.
I absolutely agree with that. I think that ACCPs, outreach nurses, they are key people that could learn and deliver this.
Don't tell anyone, Marcus, by the way, but Desiree's a nurse.
Is she? Oh wow! I've always said that. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of this kind of stuff for nurses. Certainly for the UK, they're really key. They're permanent staff. They know what they're doing. They're good at assessing patients. I'd love to see more nurses get involved with FICE.
Because you're, I think, from some of the things you told me, you do all the lines. You do heart cases.
Yeah, I'm a nurse anaesthetist.
But you've done critical care nursing,
of course.
But you do all the complex hearts and stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I do plenty of the hearts. I mean, so it would be nice to be able to have our own, ability to measure things in different ways.
Are we protecting that turf in the UK? Because in the US, I think there's some billing issues that may result in protectionism.
100% no. We've always said that FICE is for everybody, and ultrasound in general, we want to share it. We don't want to
everybody should be able to use it. I mean, it should be something in the hands that skilled providers should be able to use it to have early diagnosis and early find out early. Because like you said earlier, when you said before that it would have been nice to have this. I think someone would have died. Someone died because I didn't have it. Well, we definitely can hit things earlier if it's in the hands of people that are
absolutely
all at the bedside all the time.
So, Marcus, brilliant. Let's get a few things locked down there because it went pretty quickly. You're vice chair of what again?
The Focus Intensive Care Echo Committee. We set up some basic echo training 6 years ago, and it's become very very successful.
And if folks want to find it, where do they look?
That's on the Intensive Care Society website.
So it's an ICS endeavour.
That's right.
Okay, and you run courses, and there are materials that can help you do things.
Absolutely,
and meetings like this are a good place to get to whet your appetite.
Yes, I think so. Yeah. I mean, I've heard lots of people talking about excitement around ultrasound and echo this last couple of days, and I'm so pleased to see that.
And if you do sign up for a course, what are the sort of stages? Is there sort of a whet your appetite one, and then a get cleverer? And
that's exactly what I
was The program is you register, find yourself a mentor. There's a whole list on the website you can access to find those in the UK. There's a one-day course which are available up and down the country, and then there's a period of supervised practice and a logbook collection, which is 50 cases. And at the end of all of that is a triggered assessment by a supervisor who's a BSE positive expert, and that's it.
50 cases. Your average professor of intensive care could knock that off in 5 years.
The nurse would be able to hit those numbers a lot more quickly.
You get it done in a week. Desiree,
all right.
And anything else we should be thinking about?
And it's not just the heart; it's the lungs, it's the abdomen, it's everything else, isn't it?
Critical. I mean, anybody.
I think we've historically we had FICE, which I've explained already, and then QSIC with the core ultrasound in intensive care, which is
say that again slowly.
QSIC, core ultrasound.
Spell it for us.
CUSIC.
Excellent.
And that's it. That's followed behind FICE. It started maybe a couple of years later, looking at lung ultrasound, abdominal ultrasound, vascular ultrasound. Yeah. But I think what we'll see in 2019 is our two committees coming together as one. It's going to just be critical care ultrasound. The heart, the lungs. It doesn't matter. It's part of the same person.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think you can extend beyond critical care. I mean, I don't know if that's okay to say. But
so I want to see that integrated. I mean, we teach on advanced hemodynamic monitoring courses. I want to see that integrated. I mean, in some of the demos we do now, we always integrate cardiac. Yeah. Which means that we can so that we can bring all that together. There's some sort of reluctance to accept the fact that all works off each other.
Of course.
So I'd love to see that all come together.
Yeah. I'd love to get involved. If you want me to come and join you, I'd be delighted.
Some of them are in Southern California.
I've never been there, so let's do it.
Would you want to go?
Good help.
Marcus, thanks for coming over.
Great to talk to you guys.
So much.
Enjoy the rest of the conference.
Yeah, you too. Thanks.
Thanks for downloading and listening to Top Med Talk. Don't forget to find us on social media. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, even got our own YouTube channel. Whichever your favourite social media feed is, we're bound to be there. Find us. Also, subscribe to this podcast so that you never miss an episode. And make sure you go to the Top Med Talk website, topmedtalk.com, and get on board with the email updates. Oh, whilst you're at it as well, I suggest you download our entire back catalogue. We're categorising at the moment. We're having a little look through it. It may not always be in the form that you currently find it. So if you get your hard drive ready for a full-on download via the website perhaps, or perhaps through your podcatcher. Oh, and if you fancy meeting us, why not go to the website edpom.org/meetings. Our next big event is EdPom USA, the Dallas Masters Course, a perioperative care practicum. Have a look for details of that and some of the other meetings coming up across the next year. edpom.org/meetings.